Welcome to video 3 of Year 10 Evolution, and in this video we are looking at the evidence for evolution. So there's various different forms of evidence that we've got showing us that evolution has occurred. Okay, and first of all we can look at fossil evidence. When we're looking at fossil evidence, fossils show how over time organisms have changed. Now this can be a gradual process, okay, or it can be over a very quick period. Fossils in geographically young strata are similar to more existing organisms, okay? So any fossils found towards the top of the strata, up there where it says youngest, are going to be similar to species that exist today. Fossils found down in the deeper strata are going to be quite different because that is an old, much older period of time. Another piece of evidence for evolution is that whole concept of comparative anatomy, and we spoke about this with our homologous structures. Okay, so comparative anatomy compares structures of living organisms and fossils. It allows us to observe those homologous structures that we've already spoken about. Another piece of evidence of evolution is DNA and protein structure. All living cells have the same basic DNA structure and use the same genetic code. Proteins produced from genes come from the same set of amino acids. Comparing DNA in different species shows a large section of identical DNA, say between humans and a species that they're very different from. So you see how DNA can be used as one of these items for evidence of evolution. So this enables us to see relationships between species. So some species that we're more closely related to may have more similar DNA than species that we have a very distant relationship with. So, for example, 98% of human and chimpanzee genes are identical. So it shows that we are closely related to the chimpanzee. Okay, biographical distribution is also something that shows that evidence of evolution. Okay, so using the present day distribution of related species and fossil records, it's possible to work out where ancestors of some species evolved. Similar species can be traced to a place of origin. So if we have a look at the map there, you can see how way back over many millions of years, when the continents were closer together, you can see how different species actually moved across the continents. Now that our continents are drifting apart, okay, the fossil evidence is still there. So there's fossil, I'm trying to choose an example that I can pronounce. The Glossopteris, the plant here, can be found in Australia, in Antarctica, in India, in Africa, and in South America. Okay, when a barrier splits a population, the species on each side of the barrier gradually becomes more different. So in the case of this map, as the continents have drifted, then that's the barrier, the oceans between the continents. Okay, vesicle structures are also something that shows evolution occurs. What do we mean by this? These are structures that no longer perform the same function as it does in other organisms. Organs were presumably important in ancestral species, but have now become redundant. Okay, weak selection pressure for the structure to become completely lost, so they remain reduced in form. Our appendix is an example of this. It gives hints to the evolution of some organisms. Okay, and then another factor of evidence of evolution is embryology. All vertebrates have common features. Some of these features can only be seen at the embryo stage. So look at this, comparing a turtle to an embryo human. 4 main features of all vertebrates: the presence of a rod-like structure called the notochord, a dorsal hollow nerve cord, a postanal towel, and a pharyngeal pouches or slits, which are gills, can turn into gills. For us they don't, but they can. Okay, so 6-point summary. So those 6 points of evidence of evolution: our fossil record, the comparative anatomy with our homologous structures, DNA, protein structure, biogeographical distribution, and our embryology. And then those vesicle structures. Now that is actually 7 points, but remember, DNA and protein structure are together. Just my bad editing of the video. Thank you for watching this video, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel.